Hello and welcome to the Rose Cloud Podcast. I'm your host, Carl Sr. And this platform was created to motivate and to inspire in hopes that you will become a better you. I always like to make sure I give my shout outs to everyone that's listening all over the world, especially right here in North Carolina. Stand up right here in the Gate City, Greensboro, North Carolina. And where I'm from, Winston-Salem, North Carolina, the Trade folk. I want to make sure I give a shout out to Charlotte, North Carolina, Raleigh, North Carolina, Durham, North Carolina, the Bull City. Thank you for listening. Make sure I give a shout out to all those folks abroad in Russia. Free Brittany Griner. Free Brittany Griner. Y'all know what it is. Free Brittany Griner. What's up to our Brussels community that are listening? Bonjour to the French speaking folks over in Brussels community. Thank you for tuning in Senegal, Africa, and Malaysia. Thank you guys for tuning in and checking out the Ross Cloud Podcast. Virginia, thank you for listening. So listen, I have a very, very, very special guest in the building with us on today. I have the author, Mr. Ocir Black. He is the author of Nourishment to My Soul and Love Letters to My Son. We are super, super excited to have him here. So we're not going to hold you guys up any longer. And we're going to go ahead and get right into it. Ocir, how are you?
I'm good.
That's good, man. Listen, man, I want to tell you, thank you for coming.
Of course.
Thank you for joining us. And as I stated before, I'm very proud of you.
Thank you.
I don't feel like we say that enough to each other, whether you're an adult, whether you're a child. From my face to your face, because you're black and I'm black, and it's important that I tell you I'm proud of you, all right? You could be doing anything else in the whole wide world, and you are now an author, a young author. So let's go ahead and get right into it, and tell us what school you go to, first of all.
I go to the Early College of Forsyth.
Okay. Awesome, man. And where's that located at?
Winston-Salem, North Carolina.
Right on. That's beautiful, man. So I'd like to start off with, because I have did my due diligence and did my research on you. You were recently on the Kelly Clarkson show. Am I correct?
Yes.
So what was that experience like for you?
It was probably one of the top 5, if not 5, top 2
sure.
best experiences I've had in my 17 years of living.
Oh, right on.
Yes.
I think that's awesome.
It was, I was excited to just share that with my family, having them around me, and them being as equally excited as I was. Just their support during this whole process has really been the best ever. And
Awesome. As I was checking out the interview, you kind of touched on when you first realized you wanted to be an author, and you spoke of your grandmother,
yes,
and you also spoke of the incident with George Floyd happening.
Yes.
So can you tell us a little bit more and elaborate a little bit on that, the importance that your grandmother has played in your life, as well as the incident with George Floyd?
Yes. So my grandmother, she was an English teacher in Henry County,
That's okay.
Virginia, and she wrote letters to me, my brother, my parents, and my cousins and uncles ever since I've been alive, and that really had a huge impact on my life, on our lives, because not only did she tell us I love you, in person, it was just seeing that in writing was just a whole different feeling. And her being that English teacher and having impacts on so much other people's lives was also important to us. And so these books were honestly my best way of honoring her and keeping that tradition alive. And then for the George Floyd situation, it was just number one, it was just really hard to see, really hard to sit through, really hard to watch. And I wanted to do something different rather than a protest. I just wanted to do something a little bit different. Yeah. And I felt like these books were at least Love Letters to My Son was a very good starting point, was the starting point of what I wanted to do.
Yeah, I love that. You took your art, you used your art as activism through your writing. And I thought that was just absolutely beautiful, and the way you just explained it. So I got to ask you, how long did it take you to start writing your book? The first one, The Love Letters to My Son. Mm-hmm. How long did it take you?
So that book is actually a collaboration of mothers. Okay. So I did do some writing in Love Letters to My Son. However, it did not take as long as I expected, I should say.
So the research, what about how long did it take for the turnaround process? What was the turnaround process then, should I say?
Turnaround was very quick.
Was it?
The mothers that wrote in this book, first of all, this book would not be what it is without them. That's just number one. Yes. Number two, they were more excited than me about that book. Yeah. About number one, being involved, and number two, they knew that. I think they saw the outcome of what it was going to be, and that's what motivated them anymore. So we held meetings. Well, I held meetings weekly, and they, on there asking questions if they didn't know anything, emailing us if they didn't know anything, texting me if they didn't know anything, if they needed help with something. And so they wanted to get any and all information they can to put their best foot forward, and that's exactly what they did.
Oh man, that's absolutely beautiful. It's nothing like a mother and a son. Yeah. I think we all can agree on that. We all love our mama. Mm-hmm. Ain't nothing like your mama, man. I think this is absolutely beautiful. So, what were your work schedule? What was your work schedule like as you were having these meetings with the mothers? What was that work schedule like for you?
So we would have the meetings Sundays. Mm-hmm. I felt like that was just the best days, and it would allow people to work during the week, and then Sunday being your reflecting day. Sure. And being able to talk with us, ask any questions that that were thought of during the week. And we started off, we kind of picking which days would work. Sure. We worked with Wednesday for a little bit, and that wasn't good. Sure. And so we ultimately chose Sunday. Yeah. And decided that that's a good day, and that was fine with everybody, because we even asked them, sure. Is that okay? And they were like, yeah.
I got you. Jump on in now, Woo.
My question: how many mothers did you work with the book, as well as did you run into any issues with the mothers or even the sons while putting the book together?
So for the Love Letters to My Son, if I'm not wrong, I think it's 11. I think 11 people wrote, wow, including myself. Sure. So that's 10 mothers. And so for the sons, I think it is 11, including me. So I think it's still the same. Okay. And we didn't have any problems with the mothers, because they were excited. Sure. I would say for the sons, for Love Letters to My Son, Nourishment to My Soul. So excuse me. That's okay. It was kind of a lot, because it was during the school year, mm-hmm, and during working schedules. Yes. So we had a lot of conflict with when we would set our meetings times. Some people weren't able to join because they had work, or we had some people my age, and so they had practice or something it was something that was going on. Mm-hmm. And so I never did hold that against anybody, because that is their life. That's right. So we just decided to work around it. We still kept communication with everybody, mm-hmm, and we were able to get it finished. So that's the goal. Yeah, absolutely. And so we started something and we end up finishing it.
Yeah, I love that. The reason why I asked that question is because one thing that I'm a big advocate for, and I do it with my son, is allowing him to express himself. whether it's his mom, me, his sisters, or anything. So it's really good to hear young men your age really express themselves in a way that, it's not demeaning to who they are as young men or even their character. So that's another reason why I love what you're doing. I remember the first time we met. For one, this is a story how we met.
Sure.
We was at the Juneteenth festival at Winston,
Yes.
and he walked past, and on his shirt it says, "Ask me about my book."
Wow.
Or somewhere along those lines.
Right.
I thought that was a very creative way to promote yourself and promote your books. So, I stopped. I asked a question about his books. So, myself, my wife, we talked to him. We talked to his mother. Wife ended up purchasing a book that same exact day. Yeah. So that's pretty much how we met. But again, like I said, I love the idea of allowing the sons to be able to write and express themselves. I know at a young age, sometimes boys have issues with expressing themselves, especially living in society today where it tells them you got to be tough, 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 rah, rah, rah. Mm-hmm. And then when that moment finally comes, when they want to express themselves, sometimes it's a little bit difficult for them. So I think that is a great idea in what you're doing. I want to commend you, you, your mother, your grandmother, and all the women and sons who are part of this project, a part of your work, your work of art. I don't want to say project, your work of art that you have created. So kudos to you.
Absolutely.
You.
Kudos to you. I think, man, you are a true testament of what we would like to see more of our young black men be like, especially with the gun violence that we see happening all over our country on the whole. But I want to ask you, what would you say? And I know you only wrote a portion within the book, but if you had to say you had a writing quirk, what would it be? And what I mean by quirk, what would you say was the thing that held you up the most when it came to articulating it properly in the book or conveying it properly in the book? The most difficult thing, if you care to share.
I think that I tend to my thoughts. I have very quick thoughts. So once I have one idea, that idea builds very quickly. So especially when I was writing in Nourishment to My Soul, it was very hard for me not to stay on topic, but to continue the flow of what I was saying, because I had so many ideas popping up in my head that I constantly, when I would take a pause to read once I was done, I'm like, that's not on topic. That's not what I'm saying. Okay. So it would, or I'm like, okay, I need to hold this because I know what I'm gonna say, or that needs to be another paragraph. Sure. Something like that. Yeah. I tend to really not overthink, but basically overthink of what I want to say.
I got you.
And once that happens, I know my thoughts are like rapid. Yeah. And so now I'm like, now I'm sitting there and I'm like, okay, I need to calm down. Let's take it down. Right. Let's take it down. Right. And so once I got that under control, it was smooth sailing for me.
Oh man, that's awesome. Let me ask you something about the process when it came to publishing. What was publishing like for you?
So for Nourishment to My Soul, we actually self-published.
Oh,
so
awesome. Let me give you some kudos on that. You can't get a hand, but I'm giving you some hand claps right now.
Yeah. So we actually self-published. My mother kind of, which, that's one of the main goals to actually start up for 2023. Yeah. But she started her own publishing company, which is called Ocir Black Publishing. Oh, yes. So we decided that was the way we were going to go. We just felt that we just wanted to try, dip our feet into some new waters. But Love Letters to My Soul Son, which is the first book, we actually used a lady. Her name is Dr. Sharon Porter. Okay. And she really, really, really helped us with that process because we were new. Sure. We had no clue what we were doing. We were still pretty organized with the writings, but we was we had no idea, how to format a book, how to put a book together.
Absolutely.
The cover. We didn't have any, and she was very transparent with everything, because I think she understood that it was some more books that was going to come out, and she knew that we were thinking about self-publishing.
Yeah.
So she was very clear with what we needed to do, how you needed to do it, what softwares you needed, just stuff like that. And we really took that and ran with it, and that's where Nourishment to My Soul came from.
Beautiful.
Yep. Shout out to you for that.
Yeah, for sure.
Kudos to Mom, too, for stepping up and starting her own publishing company. What would you say are the pros and cons of both self-publishing as well as going through a publishing company? What are the pros and cons of both?
I would say a pro for publishing through someone else. Obviously, they just have the experience and the expertise, and so it would be a good way to learn good way to learn just everything about how to publish a book. The pro of self-publishing is it's more self-paced, and so that's what Nourishment to My Soul was. We still had deadlines, but we were able to relax those deadlines a little bit, rather than Love Letters, which was deadlines set by a publisher, and we needed to meet those with no relaxed time.
Yeah.
And I would say a con for publishing with somebody else, sometimes communication can get a little bit flawed, and it can get hard trying to balance out what both parties are saying. Sure. And then a con for self-publishing, it's not, you kind of, if you start off self-publishing, you can kind of not know what you're doing. Sure. So it doesn't end up correctly, or it doesn't end up how you want it to be.
Oh, beautiful.
What about the marketing aspect of it? Self-publishing versus going with a publishing company.
So we saw a lot of marketing for Love Letters to My Son than we did with Nourishment to My Soul, which needs to be fixed. Yeah. But we had a lot of help with Love Letters because of that publisher. Sure. And so she was really pushing that, hey, read this, and all this stuff. And I was on like her little her web Zoom with her Facebook and with her people, and so that was a great privilege to be a part of. Sure. But for self-publishing, the marketing, is really, it falls on you, and it falls on your people, and so you have to. You're the one that's constantly marketing. You're the one that's constantly putting yourself out there, and sometimes it can get a little bit hard, especially if it's outside of your comfort zone. Yeah. But that's just some things we've been working on. That's some things I've been working on, and we'll grow upon when the next few books come out.
Yeah, that's beautiful, man. So let's go ahead and start talking about Nourishment to My Soul. What's the premise of this book?
So Nourishment to My Soul is the sons responding to their mothers. So these sons are basically taking what their mothers have said and using that and describing what they've done in their lives, and comparing it to what their mothers have taught them.
Yeah. Do you realize what you have done? Like, I really, I'm an adult. I'm 51 years old. But what you have done is, first of all, you have shed light on the black family. And I don't know if it's just black. I don't know if it's just black families. But you are doing something that's so powerful that more of us need to understand the dynamics and the importance of family. Absolutely. You have just done something that is just absolutely beautiful.
Thank you.
I'm going to keep saying it. I'm going to be repetitive because I'm very proud of you. And this is just, I'm telling you, I've got goosebumps just talking about it, man.
Absolutely.
Yeah, because when I was 15, 17, when did you actually write the book?
So first one was 15.
15, okay. And you wrote your second
16,
one?
when I was 16.
See, that's what I'm saying, man. Kudos to your parents, too. I have to say that. Kudos to them. and to your mother, and how they have just surrounded you, and this is beautiful, man. So let me ask you, I'm telling you how I feel about the book and how both of these books, and I haven't read them yet, and I'm going to purchase them, okay? But I want to know from you, how has writing both of these books changed the way you see yourself?
I've known that I can write. I've known that I've been the writer. It's been shown in essays for school, projects, in school, stuff like that. But I felt like this was different. It's not a writing prompt for a grade. It's not something that could be put in front of a class. I mean, it can be, but it's not something that it will be put on display for a classroom for everyone else to copy from. This is actually something that I believe in, that my parents believe in, and what both my mom and my dad, very emphasis on my dad, have taught me growing up. And I've learned that this is something that I actually enjoy doing. And this is something that I could see myself doing. And if not for a career, definitely, a little side career or something like that. I enjoyed it. I enjoyed it more than I realized. Just from writing, but also, editing and talking to people and getting them to express their feelings more in their writing. So I've really learned that I enjoy writing the most.
I'm glad he spoke about what he just spoke about, because that's one of the main things that the Ross Cloud podcast loves to highlight, is when people find their what, their purpose, their gift, their passion, their calling from God. And that's one thing that at such a young age, don't get me wrong, we see a lot of youth see it like that. A lot of times, though, we see it via athletes, musicians, or even within the scholastic arena with students, they're choosing to go be lawyers, doctors, teachers, or anything like that. But to see this young man say, hey, look, writing is it for me. I shocked myself when I started writing these books and I put these books together. I found it, I love it, and I'm going to keep pushing and keep pursuing it. So my follow-up question to that is where or what's next for Ocir when it comes to you being an author? What's next? What can the world look forward to from you?
Great question.
So we have 2 more books before I graduate.
Okay, come on, man.
We are in the process of starting the 3rd one, and the idea of the fourth one is still up in the air. But there will be a number 4, and the number 4 will conclude the Family Moves series. That's what it's called, Family Moves.
Come on, man. I love the way you talk that talk. That's right. That's right. Talk it, man.
So though that is the goal that will probably is one of the important goals for especially the 2022-2023 school year.
I love it. Go ahead.
I know Mom's here.
Yes.
And I know she's the founder, the owner, the CEO of the publishing company.
Yes.
Do she put pressure on you to make sure that you're getting these books pushed out before you graduate?
Great question.
Yes. Yeah. I think this kind of goes back to like the pros and cons of self-publishing.
Okay.
But mom is very, when I say relaxed, I would say that we would have to sit down and say, okay, this is what we have. Yeah. Do we need to move it back, or do you want to keep it? And this was a decision made by the both of us.
Okay, great.
So that's what I should say about relax. It wasn't that easy to get through her to relax these days. And that's what and I know that's how it was going to be with the last 2. She is a very by the books person. So her creative mind is outside of this world. So when she makes these dates, when she gives me the calendar, I have to stick by it to the T, because she has things brewing that I just need to meet these deadlines so she can see the end goal, and so she can show everyone else the end goal.
I love it. That's wonderful. She's preparing you for greater though, as she's doing that. So, who are some of the Who are some of your favorite writers right now that you can think of right off the top of your head?
So, I would say I kind of like Langston Hughes.
Oh yes, sir. Come on.
We just talked about him.
I like a little bit more of the poetry side. I enjoy a lot of poetry.
That's right.
I wrote some poetry for a while.
Okay.
And so that's probably one of my biggest inspirations.
Okay, gotcha.
And just reading his and being able to think about what he's saying, comparing it to the world, I really enjoy that.
Yeah,
that's what's up. It's crazy that you brought up Langston Hughes, because we had an episode of the Ross Cloud podcast the other day talking about the Harlem Renaissance.
Absolutely.
And he was one of the names that popped up in there.
Absolutely.
He was one of the guys that I had to do a book, I chose to do a book report on in high school whenever we had to do a book report. So great choice. I love
Great
it.
choice. Great choice. Oh, man, this is beautiful, man. I love it. So, being that you just told us who your favorite writer was, what style of writing would you say yours is similar to? If you had to pick someone, who would you say that it was similar to your style of writing? Or do you just have your own style of writing?
I feel like I have my own style.
Come on, I love it. Yeah.
And it also depends on what I'm writing for, I should say. These books were a new style for me, because it was in letter format. So it was kind of different for me, especially on the school side when you're taught the different ones.
Sure.
But when writing in general, I feel like I have more of a argumentative, compare and contrast type of style. Okay. And so I enjoy all types of writings, but I feel like those are the type of writings I really can enjoy and really do show my best work in.
Oh, man, that's beautiful.
Good. So would you say, I don't want to say difficult, but would you say that it was you're a little bit more free with the next book and the second book? I mean, the second and fourth book, to be more creative and free on those versus the first two, because you had to kind of like keep everything in line with the letters of the mothers and the sons? Yes,
those would definitely be the more will be the creative side of me. Yeah. I know that book 3 will be strictly me writing.
Yeah.
So and that was just a meeting that we just decided on. So that one will be strictly me and my creative side and my writings, and jumping with the different topics we have. I know I will definitely touch into different types of styles of writing, just because of the topics that will be discussed.
Yes, I love it.
And outside of being an author, what else does Ocir do? What do you enjoy doing? Yes. What do you love?
Hobbies,
like if your friends call you up right now and say, "Hey, Ocir, we about to go do something," what are y'all doing?
So I am an athlete.
Okay.
Yes, I run track at Parkland High School.
All right.
And so that
Mustang.
Yes. That takes up majority of my time.
Okay.
However, I am still at the early college and Forsyth Tech. I am very involved in those. Yeah. On the early college side, I'm a part of a news team, like our early college news team. Sure. I'm a writer for that. My friend actually started that club.
Okay.
And the National Honor Society, this year I was vice president for that one.
Come on, man.
And
that's wonderful.
And so that's for and this past year, so my sophomore year, I was in our production of Mamma Mia.
Come on,
and so that was a very new experience for me.
Yes.
Very, very new experience for me.
Well, I'm telling you, you are talking my language when you talk theater.
That's right. Mr. Carl Ross is an actor himself.
Yeah. I traveled. I still am a part of G. Davis Productions. I traveled with him for almost 3-4 years in a national stage play called Daddy's Boys, and I played the father in that role. And we just recently got picked up on Roku TV, G Davis TV.
Okay.
So those shows, Daddy's Boys, is premiering right now on Roku TV.
That's right.
So I think that's dope, man. You're an artist across the board.
Yes,
he is.
This is absolutely, I'm going to tell you, made my day. You said Diego, man. You're talking right language.
Do you see yourself possibly newspaper journalist or something like that in the future?
I do want to
Okay.
tap into that. That was one of the things I did talk to some people at Versailles Tech because they do have a newspaper there. So I think that would be a little bit in the works of me starting to do, because that's a different avenue than what I'm used to.
Yeah.
I think you'll be great at it. Stephen A. Smith, he did it.
Yeah.
That's the route he went. And
He went to the state, right? He went to Winston-Salem
He
State?
actually went to Winston-Salem State. He
That's
sure
what's up.
did. And then he wrote for, I think, the Philadelphia paper.
Okay.
For the sports column.
The sports, gotcha.
Yeah. So I think you're going in the right direction.
Yeah.
How important is it to you, and would you say for anybody, whether you are a teenager or an adult, how important is it for you to set goals? And I heard you already say goals, so I know you are a goal-oriented person. But how important is it for us as and people in general to set goals for their life?
Goals are, I feel like it's very important, no matter, like you said, no matter the age. Like you said, I am very goal oriented. I set goals every school year and every year. Besides that, so 2 different goals that I want to set and want to reach by the end of the years. But I think that if you once you set goals, you're able to see what you need to do, what needs to be done. And even then you can set up a plan, and even then a goal can be a specific thing, and from there you can set up a plan of how you're going to reach it or how do you want to reach it. So even then, goals are very important, and everybody should do it. I feel everybody should be involved in goals, no matter if you write goals every single day or every school year, every few months. It doesn't matter, but I feel it's very important. That's something my parents have forced, but I've gotten into the habit of doing from a young age.
Well, let me tell you, your parents are guiding you right. We set goals.
They're doing an excellent job.
Yes, doing an excellent job. We set goals here at Ross Cloud Podcast. I have a whiteboard over there that we have already set some goals.
That's right.
But we are about to embark upon some goals that really, it wasn't really part of it, but because of the goals we had in place, they're taking us there.
Yeah.
Right.
So it's so important, because if you write it down and you look at it every day, then it's going to be inside of it's going to be a part of your DNA. Go ahead, Will.
One thing that I love about
stuff.
writing and put your goals down is that sometimes the amazing thing about God and how God works when you write your goals down.
Yeah.
And you really put action behind your goals, is that sometimes, majority of the time, God will overshadow your goal and elevate it to another level.
Yeah,
So true.
yeah.
Like you just said, Ross,
Yeah.
we had goals up there,
Yeah, we did.
and something came and
kind of
overshadowed that. I absolutely love that. Question: in a day and age where TikTok, Facebook, Instagram, all the social media takes control over the minds and the ideas and the inspiration from all the kids, especially the young authors like yourself out there, how would you encourage young people to get into writing? Because I have a daughter. She's 11 years old. She's amazing when she writes. She gets it from her mother. But I think sometimes she doesn't feel being a writer or author is cool in the eyesight of other people because of what she sees on social media and what she hears from her peers. Even though Mom and myself, we encourage her and to continue on with what she's doing. But how would you encourage kids your age, younger, or even older to say, hey, look, this is a cool thing to do. Do you, be happy with you in it. So how would you encourage them?
I would say that certain things become trends. So when writing becomes a trend or is a trend for a while, that's when people will write. I don't know how I would do it, I would say, but, I'm not excluding or I'm not saying that I can't.
Sure.
But it would have to become a trend at a time. I mean, that's just how teens are with the social media. It would just have to be a trend. Sure. For me, like I said, I grew up doing it.
Got you.
So that was never a trend for me. Yeah. And some people are like me and they grow up with writing and they were taught how to write. Right. Well, everybody's taught how to write, but they were taught how to express themselves through writing, I should say. So
yeah, me and you, we have something kind of in common. I heard on the interview that your grandmother was a English teacher. Mm-hmm. My mother is...
Shout out Miss Beverly.
Yes, and my mother is a English teacher, but she's retired now, and she's went on to start her own writing company now. So she has a writing company now.
Kinesthetic Solutions.
Thank you. He knows my mom's company better than I do. But I said all that to say is, the funny thing about this is I never knew that I could write, and I didn't tap into writing until I was, I am 51, so I started tapping in around, say about 4 years ago. I tapped into it because I had a fear of actually writing until my mom put it in. God, she just made it so simple. She said, well, if you can speak it, you can write it.
Yes.
And that's so true.
Yes.
And he is a excellent motivational speaker. We're trying to get him to do more motivational speaking. So Miss Beverly, please get on him about that.
But at any rate, I think that's beautiful because you become what you hang around. And your grandmother, for 50 years, was am I correct, 50 years? Was it 50 years or longer? I might have read that wrong.
Yeah.
For many years.
Yeah,
Let's
for
just
many
say
years. Yes, for
okay?
many years.
Don't hold me to it, okay? Ocir Black. I don't know if it's 50, but she wrote a long time.
Right.
So do you like cross country?
No.
Okay, sprint?
Yes, I do hurdle. I do the hurdles and the jumps. So I do like the sprint hurdles, so like the 110s, and then I do the 300 hurdles and 400 hurdles, and then I do the triple jump and long jump. I'm more of the multi person.
Okay.
Listen,
nothing about it.
In high school, I did the 110 hurdles. Now y'all gotta understand, I'm about 5'6", 5'7". So them hurdles, them hurdles is going halfway across my body.
Yes.
So imagine, and then you got to do 3 steps.
Yes.
3 steps in between each hurdle.
Yeah.
Hit it, boom. 1, 2, 3. Hit it. 1, 2, 3. Hit it. So imagine me 5'6" trying to do hurdles, man.
Oh, ain't gonna happen.
It's not, man. So of course I stopped doing that. But I was a good long jumper. For me being 5'6", my longest jump was 20 feet 9 inches.
Okay.
And I'm 5'6".
Hey,
Y'all better give me my reprise. Put some respect on my name.
Put some respect on your name, brother. I will.
My issue over there hating on me. Just keep taking your pictures.
I think this is awesome, man. And you pretty much have encouraged, we wanted you to encourage the youth, but if you could say something now in closing, as we close up, what would you say to encourage that next young author that's coming up? Could you say anything to encourage them? As you know, this platform is created to inspire and motivate, and you definitely are an inspiration. Absolutely. But can you say something from your words, out of your mouth, to motivate someone, that next author coming up?
It would probably just be, do you. Don't let social media, don't let people, don't let anything take you away from what you want to do. I mean, I know people say that, but I really think that that's the most important. With people trying to become other things, people are trying to find who they are, who they fit along with. So just do you, especially when it comes to writing.
Yes.
That's some of the things that's a thing that you can become, that can become your own, that you can make your own.
Yeah.
And so just, especially with writing, just be you. I mean, you can have inspirations, of course.
Sure.
Everybody has inspirations.
Sure.
But just be you when it comes to your writing.
Listen, I hope you guys have enjoyed this episode of the Ross Cloud Podcast, because I sure have. And again, thank you for tuning in. Thank you for listening as we have introduced you guys. If you don't know, Mr. Ocir Black, who is the author of Nourishment to My Soul and Love Letters to My Son. Go out and get you a copy right now. And thank you for... go ahead, Woo.
I apologize.
No, you're not.
Mr. Ross.
You don't apologize.
No, because I want him to tell everybody where they can order the book from, as well as his social media handles.
Yes. Give it to us. So
you can order my book off of our website, Ocir Jaron Inc. Jaron is spelled Jaron, and then Ocir, OCIR, Jaron, JARONINC.com. That's our website.
Beautiful.
And you can, all of our social medias are the same thing. We have Instagram, Twitter, and Facebook. And so those are Ocir Jaron Inc. LLC. Ocir Jaron Inc. LLC. There we go. And all of those are the same. And all of those are for Instagram, Twitter, and Facebook.
Okay, awesome. Thank you, Woo. I needed that.
No problem.
Yo, this is the Ross Cloud Podcast, and thank you for listening. I'm Carl Ross Sr. Peace.